Alright guys, welcome back to another edition of Cardboard Crawlers here. Sitting at the desk. We got Ethan's truck on the blocks. We've done some body work to this in the last couple days, and we just took the stock motor out. It just burned out recently, and we have an Injora 66 to put back in it. Just as a little tester engine. He's only 7, so what more does a little guy need? Not much more than this, probably. Anyway, we'll get this the rest of the way apart. We'll get this spur gear off. And always make sure to have your deep flange down, deep down. Put my nut back on. It's just my habit. Plus this little tool. I tend to get stuck in there if I don't. We'll take our 1.5. And there's two screws for the motor. And then we'll I don't know if we replaced that motor plate or not. I can't remember. We'll use the supplied plate. It's a different hole pattern for the 66 turn. Pretty much all the upgrade motors, for some reason, it's just exactly the opposite. So maybe not all, don't quote me on that. The few that I've dealt with. Alright guys, so I get a little bit quiet right here. I just kind of stopped talking, so I'll just fill in a little bit. This is the Cardboard Crawlers entire fleet up until this point right here. We got 3 C10s and 2 Gladiators. One of the C10s is mine. 2 are my oldest and middle nephew, and the youngest nephew has a Gladiator, just to give him a little advantage. He's only 5 years old, so he got a wheelbase advantage and version 2 electronics. So anyway, they all have some upgrades to them. Links, steering links, some servos here and there. Not all of them. But yeah. Just getting her done, putting in this new motor, and we'll have it up and going here in just a minute. So thanks for watching, and if you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. We'll have more to come, and my video recording skills and editing skills are only going to improve as time goes by, so hopefully you stick with me and this channel grows into something fun. It's already a great time. Thanks. So I fumble a little bit around here with how this motor plate goes back in. I didn't really keep track of how my screws came out, and I got a little confused for a second. And it's literally only the second motor I've ever replaced on a RC car, right? I'm new to the hobby, and you know, I'm just learning a lot from all the other guys out there. Shout out to 2FMRC. He has a lot of great tutorials. Cape Crawlers, Texoma RC, GNC RC. There's too many to name. Brian Kochner has some awesome builds out there, amazing stuff. Yeah, they're just too many to name. There's so many great channels out there. It's a great time to be in the sport or the hobby of RC cars, crawlers, dragsters, mud boggers, monster trucks, bashers, you know, you name it. that's out there. You can find out all about it and learn more every single day. That's what I've been doing. I just kind of deep dove into all this stuff and have figured it out and learned along the way. And just you take them apart, you put them back together. It can't go too wrong. You know, keep track of your screws and what you did. And I think that's all I'm doing right here. I'm just probably late at night and just kind of trying to make sure I don't embed a screw into the wrong part of the housing or put it through the pinion gear, putting it all back together, just kind of looking at it before I get too deep that I can't recover, or where I don't, have to take things back apart. So, yeah, I'm sure the recording picks up back here in a few minutes, and I'll just play along until then. So, yeah, since this time, I've built a Maz Designs chassis JLU, and I have another rig in the works on the table, a C10 framed Gladiator linked unknown body as of yet. I plan on building another. The JLU Maz chassis is not really a comp rig, but the original idea behind getting a Maz chassis was a comp rig. So I'm going to get another Maz chassis and build a comp rig. I've got a cliffhanger body sitting here. I just ordered an air brush kit, and I'm going to attempt to paint that body up a little bit. So we'll see. Like I said, you stay tuned to this channel. We're new to the sport and new to the YouTube, and just continuing to have a great time. So glad you guys are here with me. We'll have lots of wheeling. I intend to just shoot lots of wheeling and do a little bit of these tutorials. Like I said, I'm new to it all, so I kind of failed at the audio on the original version right here. So bear with us while we get it all together and get things going here. I think I might have thought that I was doing a time lapse or something. I had been fiddling with camera stuff and trying to do some other things. So we'll see. Alright, so we're just pressing this pinion gear on here. Just press it in flush. Might use some, no, that's it. Flush is good. That's where she's at. And then we'll bolt that together. And we'll check it out. So the way that the bolt pattern is now, if you set your spur gear in and bolt it in, you will not be able to tighten this. So just get it kind of snug. That one just barely snug, not even. And then let's see where we get this other one. We can get that one just beyond barely. So we can still move our motor. We'll set our spur gear in. Just slides right in, and we don't need to bolt it in place. We don't need to go through all that. We should be able to tell. And tighten that one down. Take this spur gear off real quick. Tighten them both down. And that feels real good. Tiny, tiny bit of play there, and that's what we want for lash. All right, got that all bolted back together. Just gonna fit right back in place here. No problem. We'll have to trim that off, I believe, the leg of the right hand forward leg, passenger side forward leg of the battery tray, and then that'll be set in there and ready to go. So we'll get that mounted in. We'll get the drive lines put back in. All that. Well, sometimes it really is like the game of operation. You just have to get in there and use a pair of tweezers. Not quite. All right, well, got a battery plugged in here, and drive line's all hooked up, and don't have the rear shocks hooked up yet, but motor's hooked up, so there we go. Pretty good, nice and not real noisy. That drive line's just clanky because it's not got a good line up there. There we go. Oh yeah, she's smooth. Alright, while we have this thing broken open, top off, getting ready to put new tires and wheels on this rig in the next couple of days. The kids are gonna have to earn those. So, I don't know, some extra chores. We got a fence that we gotta take down. Maybe they can help do some work there. We'll see what their dad says about that. But I got some shocks just laying around, some 43 millimeters. They don't have their springs on them right now. That's how I was running them, belly dragger style, and that's kind of how these kids have are set up. So we'll just put some longer shocks in the back here, since we cut the fender wells in anticipation of tires. And bada boom, bada bing. Well, I don't know if you can really see it or not, but I put 2 of the tiny bushings that come with the ball ends for all the hot and for the links and shocks and all that. I put those I put an extra long screw through my shock, and then wherever I have my shock mounted, whether it's to this point or to where the shock mounts go in the rear, I use 2 bushings to space my shock out just a little bit, and I just tighten to where it's just snug against the bushings, and it's got a little rubber give right there, and I don't know, that's just how I've been doing it. Works for me. Maybe it'll work for you. It's gonna work for Ethan's truck, that's for sure. Well, alright, we almost have this thing slapped back together. Just need to put the body back on. And that'll probably take me 10 or 20 minutes here. I need to get all these trucks hooked up with the aluminum body mounts. It's just so difficult to run these plastic ones. They're just flimsy. They flop around. Screws don't want to go in them. That one's going. There we go. Not too bad. Once you get one, the other one usually will flip down, but I like the aluminum. It's a single piece. Just one single cross member in the back. Ties it all together real nicely. I have one on my rig, and all of these rigs will probably have one day. They're just tightens them up, makes them a little bit more stiff, and a little more bash proof. Kids are running these. But there we go. 43s on the back, rear 43 millimeters on the rears. I think these are 38s on the front, these mountain shocks. They work for now. I was looking for the springs to put them into a forced droop setup, but I couldn't find them. They're around here. I just couldn't find them right now. So we'll get a battery in this and we'll run it on the course and test it for Ethan. All right, well, that's about it for this one. She ran great. Put her in the rocks on the indoor course. She's a runner. Ethan will be so stoked because his rig probably was not running that well for the past few days. Or a few days that he had been running it. They've been gone a couple days, so he got some body work. A little bit of paint detail work. Some engine work, motor work, and he needs a servo, but I'm amazed this particular servo has lasted, and this truck has a little bit of weight in it, not very much, but I can't believe that out of 5 of them, that's the only one that's worked more than a day, and it's actually been a couple months. So we'll see. It's gonna go soon, I'm sure of it. Got one in the box right here. Cardboard crawlers out. All right, well, that's about it for this one. She ran great. Put her in the rocks on the indoor course. She's a runner. Ethan will be so stoked because his rig probably was not running that well for the past few days. Or a few days that he had been running it. They've been gone a couple days, so he got some body work. A little bit of paint detail work, some engine work, motor work, and he needs a servo, but I'm amazed this particular servo has lasted, and this truck has a little bit of weight in it, not very much, but I can't believe that out of 5 of them, that's the only one that's worked more than a day. And it's actually been a couple months. So we'll see. It's going to go soon, I'm sure of it. Got one in the box right here. Cardboard crawlers out.